Yeah.
Dinosaurs.
Say, ladies and gentlemen.
Da.
Go on, you repeat after me. No,
Dinosaurs.
you don't need to hold it. Put your mouth there. You can go, ladies and gentlemen.
Dinosaurs.
Copy off me. Copy off.
Dinosaurs.
That's good. Can you copy off me now?
No.
Ladies.
Dinosaurs.
'Cause you can edit that after. Ladies. I thought you were helping. You helping?
Dinosaurs.
Just say Daniel Sloss over and over again.
Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and Cream, Cream and Muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh. They said it can't be done.
Think about think about fuck.
Rock.
I said think about fuck.
Rock.
Yeah, Cara sent us
Rock.
this.
Fuck.
Rock.
Fuck.
Rock.
Sorry.
Did he teach him that though?
I don't know. Jingle bell.
He's realised he's getting a response from saying fuck, hasn't he?
I was so
You haven't taught him fuck.
nope.
He mispronounced it and then
So we were.
and then he realised that you're getting way more reaction from
Me and
saying
Cara
that.
weren't in the room.
Yeah.
Right, Cara's parents were down, and my mother-in-law had taken Caelan through to her room to teach him this song. No, I don't know. I think she was just getting stuff, and he loves to help him with things. She came back and he's like, he's singing that song. And we were like, what song? Because normally he sings the Polar Express songs. He loves the Polar Express song. So he just says hot chocolate all the time. We're like, oh, that one. And he comes back through. And man, he's sworn twice in his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once was when Cara said bastard.
Oh, there was that time in the car.
Oh, bugger, yeah, it was bugger, yeah. Cara said bugger, and he repeated bugger, and then we managed to gaslight him and make him think that she was saying burger.
Buggy,
So then we
yeah.
had to deal with burger for a couple of days, which was fine. And then there was a time when he was so young that when I slammed on the brake and he went, fucking hell. But
Yeah,
we're
I
not
remember that
sure
one.
whether that was him actually saying fucking hell or whether that was just like a noise. And he's never said it since, right? No, I'm not delusional. He's heard the word fuck. I'm his dad.
Oh,
like
aye.
Cara's his mum.
He's not like censoring yourselves around him.
We tone it down, but there's sometimes like, man, the other day, like,
One of them.
aye, I mean, we'll have to pause it.
Can Matthew run and get us one? Can you run and get us a little advert now? Officially cross. There's a reason I stopped this, is I thought out of that.
Oh no,
I thought we'd completely ran out of
there's been another
rum
delivery.
cast. There's been another delivery.
Aye.
So I just stopped them there because I had one little taste of it on the podcast before the European tour, and I came back and it was gone.
Oh yeah. By the way, it was gone well before you came back.
and while I've been away, loads of people have been ordering it and sending us the pictures of the rum cask, and I'm like genuinely jealous that I haven't been able to join the party.
It's so good
with everyone. So, yeah,
so good. Oh, here's
here
the
I am
worst
now.
cat in the world. Here you are, you little
Oh,
piece
hello,
of shit.
darling. This is very disruptive. This is your Christmas special, by the way. Disrupted for booze and.
Anyone that's watching the video, if you want to see the worst cat in the world, it's this one.
I got heckled by a cat in Turkey.
Aye,
I was doing me dog material.
that makes
And a
sense.
catwalk on stage, and it was perfectly timed.
Come on over here, you horrible piece of shit.
And it was class because they just have Roman cats. Not Roman cats.
Just
Like
gladiatorial.
Data Roman. Oh, you haven't,
At
have
the front
you?
door. It's the open one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. The front door. The front door. Nah, none of that. Nah.
They just roam around, like they just come into restaurants and they just chill, and they're just community cats, and everyone like they're well fed because everyone looks after them.
Yeah. Like what? Like the fucking community cows in India.
Community dogs in India.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, your
I don't
cows
think
are-
that's somebody's cat. That's not somebody's cat. That's just like we have cats,
Aye.
and we all look after cats. And
Greece just has lots of cats.
ambient cats,
Aye.
yeah. So like that was just normal for them, and I was just like, this should be how it is. Like you should just have like ambient wildlife.
I don't know if you. Well,
There's probably like hygiene things that like wouldn't be possible in the UK.
and for people like my wife, it would make going to Greece and seeing just all the fucking stray cats there makes her very sad.
Oh
because
no,
she's-
they're so looked after.
Oh yeah, but the ones that come inside, there's got to be. They're not all living the dream.
The ones I saw in Turkey were really well fed. They weren't fat, but they were healthy. They were healthy looking. Yeah. It's a very, very loose start of the podcast. Cheers. Cheers. Cross.
So back to my son swearing.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes in and he starts singing that song. First of all, we've never heard him sing Jingle Bell Rock. Right? Don't get me wrong, we play Christmas music because we love Christmas in this household. But you're never really aware of what he's picking up. And then he comes in, she says, he's singing that song. He starts singing Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, and we're like, great, we love this. Then he says, fuck. And we all do such a good job of like not reacting to it. And I'm like, what? And he goes, Jingle Bell, fuck. And I'm like, buddy, it's rock. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he sang it again, Jingle Bell, rock. And we all gave him a little round of applause because we were like, great, you've smashed it. You just correct it. Don't give him the reaction.
So he actually has said rock at this point.
And then I made the mistake of being like, can you
for the
just
camera,
let me film you? What were you saying before? And he starts doing that. And like, we're not laughing at it. But the fact that he's being filmed, he's like, well, this is clearly so. He knows that when we film something, we're going to show
and then
people.
when you're going rock, he's like, fuck.
Yeah. So it was 2 days of just singing Jingle Bell, fuck. And like me being like, rock. And he's like, what's fuck? And I'm like, it's just the wrong words, man. And he's like, what does fuck do? Right? Because that's what he asked. Anything. What's fuck do? And I'm like, like.
So even being inquisitive about that word's really funny.
Yeah, because then I'm like, I don't want to teach him. Well, how do you approach it, right? Do you go, hey, this is like I don't want to say it's a bad word because I disagree with that they're bad words. I think they're words that upset people and that's why they're fun. But like there is a responsibility. Like I remember when I was young and like I'm gonna say I was about 9 or 10 and one of my friend's parents pointed to my mum being like, Daniel swears a fair bit. And my mum was like, yeah, he does.
I hadn't noticed. Yeah, it's just because it doesn't hold any power at home.
Yeah, and she was like, is he allowed to do that? And my mum was just like, well, I mean, yeah. And then I think I don't know if it got in her head, but she was like, oh, I guess if it's...
Strange one, because all of the words that are considered swear words are, apart from like shit and piss, which are like swear word lights, like they're all sexually loaded ones. So you're probably keeping them words in the kids' mouth because you wouldn't even want them saying the real words for you wouldn't want them to say sex, even though that's not a swear word. Like why are they saying words that are to do with putting a cock in a fanny? Like why are they like that? So even though like whether he's saying Jingle Bell fuck, he's not saying fuck as in sex.
No.
But like it comes with the question. So what's fuck? Yeah. And you're like, oh, we could probably shield him from this for a little bit longer.
Fuck has several meanings, and like 20% of the meaning of fuck is sex. Like fuck is damn
but the etymology of all them words, like if I call someone a cunt, I never mean vagina.
No.
But the etymology of it is vagina.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck that. Fuck is a place. Get to fuck. Right? It's an adverb. Shut the fuck up.
I'm just thinking why we do like if there's something that we've lost and gone, well, it's only a swear word if you give it power. There must have been a reason why they didn't do it. Why they decided not to let kids say these words.
Because the older generation sucks shit, right? And they were a bunch of... Because
they were prudish, isn't it?
It's prudish. They were all hoity-toity and they wanted to pretend they were upper class and fucking better than they were. And they wanted to like be able to look down at other people. And because swearing was like a thing that the common people did, right? Because they were working in fucking mines and bending sheet metal and they would lose their arms in a forge and they would go, fuck! And they'd be like, well, we're not going to do that because we drink wine. We're just going to say the N-word. Like,
we just got no sexual connotations, so the children can say that.
I cannot fucking... like, for me, you know that thing of like swearing shows, this is what people say, swearing shows a lack of vocabulary. I think the opposite. I think being offended by swearing is a sign of low intelligence. I think it's such a...
Low emotional intelligence for sure.
Yeah. Somebody told you to be upset by this thing. The only reason you're offended by swearing is because somebody older in your life when you were young...
It's a boundary, that you're not even questioning.
Yeah, and you're just like, and that upsets me now. Like, nothing makes me laugh fucking more. Or, like, videos where... It's, you know, Scottish kids or Scottish grandparents or Scottish parents and people just swearing the way Scots do, and you got all these fucking Yanks or Canadians being like, I'd be mortified if my granny ever said cunt. And you're like, well, fucking...
Yeah.
I'd be mortified if my gran fucking went to church and prayed for gays to die. So, like, I guess we both have different fucking boundaries of what's cool for a...
it is mad that like what you said before, but then where like there's people that will be genuinely like fucking bigoted and racist and offended by swearing.
Yeah.
And they'll actually like you go right. So it's not even the content of your words that matter.
No.
It's the words themselves that are the bother.
Yeah, it's just like I couldn't. And don't get me wrong. Actually, I could probably swear less. I mean, I'm never gonna. I'm over 30.
Is there a
I'm set in my
situation where
ways.
you would be a little bit annoyed by someone swearing? What if like you are at a funeral for a relative and the guy doing the sermon swore?
Class?
If like you forgot what he was saying and went fucking what's the thing? Like the guy serving the Subway sandwich when he was like he forgot the word cheese and he was stoned. He was like, "Do you want some of this shit?"
Yeah, great.
Like if you just threw in something like that, like doing a.
If somebody was just like, yeah, so I guess we're going to just put your gran in there and I don't know, burn her to fuck. Great,
Happy.
big fan of that.
Is there anywhere where swearing would like bother you at all? Like what about if you were in the soft play and there was like a netty lass like fucking just effing and blinding in a conversation with a mate? Mm-hmm. Would you be bothered by that at all?
No, because again, it would no. I think if someone were to swear like not even at my kid. I've sworn at my kid, not intentionally, but like the other day.
If someone referred to your child as that little cunt.
That's how I refer to him. That's actually. I'll say to Gara, I'm like, which cunt do you want to get out of the car? The fat one or the fun one? Ayla's not even that fat.
I thought you were talking about Cara.
Just greatly upset Cara. No, because like even the swearing, like if somebody were to swear in front of my kids and he was to be like, what does bastard, what does cunt mean? It's my job to be like, hey man, like that's a word that upsets some people, which is what my mum did when when it was brought up that I swore. She sat me down, she was like, you shouldn't swear. And I was like, why not? And she was like, I don't fucking know, man. Like, because you shouldn't. And my dad was like, you can't tell them not to do something unless you can justify it. And she was like, well, don't do it at school and don't do it in front of your grandparents. There are people who will get upset by it. And if that causes a reaction from them that I have to deal with, I can't be arsed with that. And I was like, oh, that's fair enough. But then I think that's a good lesson to teach a kid. To be like, right, this word, it's got power for some fucking reason. It's got power. So therefore, it's your responsibility with that power, right? Don't tell your mum to fuck off in public, right? Like you do swearing in the way I do, which is like, don't use it in anger towards me or your mother. I would never, when I get upset with Cara, I don't fucking swear at her, right? I'm not like, you've been a fucking piece of shit. That's when it's like aggressive and awful. But if I'm joking around with her, I'll be like, you're a bad piece of shit. It's tone and it's...
Yeah, aye. It's intent. With me godkids, we'd swear in front of them so much because Grassy had them three girls like from the age of 15 and over the next 5 years, right? He had them three girls. And then, so we were always around his house because it was easier for us to come to him than him to come to anywhere we were. Right. So we'd go and run. So we're just a group of lads playing Champ Manager, just fucking playing cards with these three girls around. We would swear in front of them. We'd never heard them swear. Mm-hmm. They'd never swear because they just knew, don't do as we do. Like, the same as we would drink in front of them, but they wouldn't drink.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, that's a thing for adults. And they just knew that.
Yeah.
And they just wouldn't repeat it.
I think that's what you can teach your like kids. Man, I can't tell my son not to swear when my job is swearing.
Aye.
Right? So much of what I do is swear. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's a bad thing. Because they can be like, but you do it all the time.
But can you just do the adult swear? You drink.
Yeah, but he understands that he's not like adult drinks. Like me and Craig Hill was around yesterday. We were having a couple of bottles of fucking champagne, a couple of fizz. I say champagne. It was Marks and Spencer's Buck Fizz. Who am I pretending to be?
Sounds quite nice.
I think it was like really fucking something in clementine, cranberry and clementine. Mm-hmm. And he was like, can I have some of that? And I was like, not until you're older. And he was like, but I am a big boy. I'm like, I understand that you're a big boy, even though you're objectively not, you're a tiny little boy. But fair enough, you're a big boy in your head. You do big boy things. I'm like, this exists and you just can't have it yet. Like,
I think it's quite like exciting as a child when you know, like, you know, when you're at a certain age, you can do a certain thing. Like, you know, you can like get your provisional license at that age, or you know, you can buy a scratch card or have a cigarette. Like, if you've got these things, if that's what you can have when you're that age. Like, I remember looking forward to them things. It felt like a million years away as well, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of provisional licenses there, so I'm going to go back and start doing fucking stand-up in January, just around Edinburgh and stuff. Just,
Are you actually?
yeah,
Nice.
just to stand monkey bar. I'll find some places to just get up and do it. So I've been, and that's not a decision I made, but my brain has just started like writing stand-up in my head for me.
Oh, good. That's good.
And one of the ones I was thinking of doing, which is, you know how in the UK, right, there's 2 tests you have to sit before you get your driver's license, right? You got your actual driving test, which is like go and do this on the road. But then there's the
theory.
Theory, right?
Which comes now with, we didn't do it. Oh, maybe you did, the hazard perception.
Yes. The hazard perception test is a very, like, I think it's a really good, important test, which is they show you the video of a car driving as if you are, and you have to click anytime you see something on the screen that
Someone's
you need
about to step
react
out behind a van or something.
Yeah, a bus is stopped there. So that means, even though people shouldn't, somebody might be stepping out from in front of that bus, coming out, you got to stop there. Cars pulling out here, there's road works there where you're going to have to cross the other, and you got to go, danger, 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 click, 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 right? And that's to show that you can recognise the dangers on the road before you're allowed on the road. I think there needs to be a provisional test for voting, right? And if you can click out of 6 images, what is very fucking clearly fake news, a deep fake, or something wrong.
The same way we have to prove we're not robots.
Yeah. If you can't do that when you walk into the voting booth, right, and you go, oh, that's a real news story, that's a real news story, that's an opinion piece, that's just a lie, this is fucking fake. If you can't get that, yeah, man, you're going to the vote, we're not counting it.
You should. I think because everybody should have the right to vote. You should get a multiplier, and some people should be times 0.1.
Yeah.
So you get your vote, but you fucked your vote. Your vote rating the same as your Uber rating. There's some people not going to pick you up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I reckon you should have qualifiers on that.
And I say that knowing that, like, my vote would be less than a full point. I'm probably getting 75% of a vote.
Aye.
Like, I'm too thick, I think, I didn't go to university.
Well, you know how everything's tracking your reading now?
Yeah.
I mean, just track your reading. Just go, see what he read.
Yeah.
See what he read. He's not getting a 1.0 on his vote.
Yeah.
He spent his whole time on Reddit.
Yeah. 80% of the books he's read in the past 5 years have been by Brandon Sanderson. He's not getting a full vote.
You've seen what he's been liking on Facebook. He hasn't read the article. He didn't click on that article before he liked it.
Yeah.
He didn't click on it. You've got that data. Just use it and fucking mark what vote's doing.
It's what I was saying. It's what I was saying on the last podcast.
You know, if somebody's
you're not allowed to be anonymous online. He's got everything you've ever posted. There should be a fucking organisation that looks through everything you've ever posted, how many times you've shared something that was so clearly not fucking true. And by the way, you can get your vote back up.
Just read The Economist. Just fucking read The Economist or something, right? And it's tracking your reading, and all of a sudden you've been on Economist more than you've been on Facebook, and you're now 1.1 on your vote.
Yeah.
Like, just track our shit. Track where we're getting our fucking data from, and then mark it down on it.
Yeah, it should also be, I think, tax-based, not the amount of tax you pay, but how much of the tax you're supposed to pay that you pay. So, like, if you're a working-class person and you pay your... I don't know what the tax rate for a normal human being is.
Right, I think it's like after 12 grand, it's 20%.
Right.
And then after anything after, like, depends where you are, Scotland or England, it's around about 50 grand, 40%.
Right, so if you're paying 20% tax, you earn 35,000 a year and you pay that tax on time, that's straight in at a fucking point. Right, great. If you're earning over 50 grand, you're paying 40% tax, you pay that on time, you're still getting the fucking full point. If you earn over 200 grand, and you got a bunch of fucking charities set up in the background, and you keep money offshore, and you do all these other fucking things, and you got a bunch of properties.
Charity. Your charity work to fucking make your tax disappear.
No. Which, by the way, I'm not fully against that. Like, I always hate fucking hate.
You'd rather the money going to the charity than the...
Yeah, people say, well, David Beckham, the only reason he gives to charity is because, it's tax dodging. It's like, well, I mean, when you got a fucking Tory government who aren't putting the money into the actual fucking system, the only way to make sure it goes to people in need is to do it directly.
I get really annoyed when... I don't know if it's like this working class defence mechanism, but you know, when people talk about how much footballers get paid... Like, oh, that fucking is getting millions. Like, they should give that money to teachers or doctors or whatever. You're like, motherfucker, that guy, he's making millions, right? One, who do you want to get the money? The fucking person that's entertaining everybody. Because bear in mind, we're all buying tickets. I'd rather they were getting the money than anybody else. Because that's who I'm paying to watch. I'd rather the slice of my ticket money was going to them. The other bit is, like, they're on from 50 grand upwards, from 50 grand to the several million. They're on a 40% tax bracket. They are paying for the doctors and nurses. That's exactly where almost half of their money is going.
If they pay their tax.
Which I imagine a lot of them do.
Aye.
Because it's like, it's took its sauce in it.
Well, I mean, Messi didn't fucking pay tax for years, did he? That was the whole point.
I don't know.
No, he didn't. But the Spanish are all
But I remember,
greasy, dirty, cheating fucks.
I remember someone finding they bought a car off from a place, and it was Raheem Sterling's old car, and his pay slip was in there. And like I remember the biggest eye opening thing was his tax bill, because it was his pay slip for the month, right? And it was like fucking 300,000 or something. There was like nearly 1,500 was like tax. Just like, oh, fucking hell, that's brutal. That's brutal. So I can't mind what the exact numbers were, but like they are fucking, like, when people do that whinge, I'm just like, oh, they're paying for the doctors and nurses way more than your politicians who are fucking putting everything against the taxes.
Also, people being like, these footballers should be donated to charity. When Marcus Rashford paid for all those fucking kids getting school meals, you were all still racist to him, right? You were also obscenely fucking racist to him. It's been like, oh, he's fucking virtue cycling, all of this fucking shit. You're just not happy. The other joke that crossed my mind. We went to the zoo today, right? I think the biggest con in the world, is when they tell you that you can adopt animals at the zoo. You can't. You can sponsor an animal.
Oh, aye.
Right.
It's like
there's no adoption process.
You never adopt the goat that's sending you the letter.
Me and Kat have been trying for a red panda for years, right? Ended up with 2 fucking kids. Right? So if we want to adopt a red panda, Edinburgh Zoo's offering that out to us, right? It's not, I'm not adult. I don't get to fucking take out. I'm sponsored. I'm fine with sponsoring it. I sponsored the sloth at Edinburgh Zoo for a fucking year. I'm happy to donate to the conservation.
For the pun reason alone.
Don't call it adoption, right? Right? Because otherwise, I'm going to adopt a bunch of kids, right? I will happily adopt a kid if all that requires is me being like, they're like, hey, I come from a broken home. My stepfather was really abusive. I've been malnourished for 2 years. Is there any chance you can adopt me? And I'm like, 100%. Here's 30 quid. And I'll see you in 2 months.
Yeah.
But don't touch me because I think you'll bite.
And I want letters. I want you to post to us. And every time I send that money, I'll be like, oh shit, I need to cancel that.
I just think it's one of the It's that feels like you know the word isn't adopt. I'm not adopt. It's not mine, right? You're telling me at Edinburgh Zoo, right?
However, shout out to our dads, by the way. I really appreciate everybody who adopted me and Daniel on the dad tier.
If I adopt the red panda at Edinburgh Zoo, right?
Oh, you want weekends? You want custody? Some form of custody.
I don't know if you know the story about the red pandas at Edinburgh Zoo dying because of the fireworks.
No.
Aye. They got scared.
So recently?
Oh, yeah. Like fucking, what was it, 2 months ago?
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought you just meant the Scottish Cup final. Yeah, 2 months ago.
Bonfire night, not even 2 months ago. A month and a half ago. One of the red pandas at Edinburgh Zoo died because of all the fireworks going off, which makes me question, are they really Chinese? They fucking love fireworks out there. I don't think that red panda.
They don't call it the Japanese firecracker, that's for certain.
So one of the red pandas died, obviously very fucking sad. And Edinburgh Zoo is in a really horrible position at the moment where they're trying to get the council to ban, or at least, ban fucking fireworks before Hogmanay, because they're worried about the other fucking red panda. But obviously they can't do it, so they've had to just put out like a decency call to the people of Edinburgh, being like, hey,
you live near the zoo, don't do fireworks.
Yeah, don't do this. Like, it scared the other one to death. Which, don't get me wrong, what a shit animal. What a fucking shit animal. Jesus. Fucking acting like a war vet. You fucking climbed up a tree, you heard a bang and you fell down. Grow up.
There's a red panda because it's blushing because it embarrassed itself.
But look, they're endangered, that's fine. You're telling me next time on Hogmanay, fireworks go off, both the parents die. If I've adopted that red panda's coming home with me.
Oh, you're going to do the burial?
Don't call it adoption if I don't get it at the end of it. That's not fair.
Aye.
You're selling me a fucking lie.
This is going to be like fuck that stepdad Ponzi scheme.
It's like
loads of stepdads turn up at the funeral.
It's like when you were little, right? Mm-hmm. And there are those toys which were like a dinosaur, like a sponge dinosaur inside of a pill, right, or an egg or whatever, and they would be like grows 4 times its size. Was the biggest scam ever because they know as a child when I hear 4 times the size, I go double, 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 and then you put it in the water and it grows, and they're like, we meant 400% mass. And you're like, you thought it was going to be squared.
I'm a kid. You thought it was going to be the root of. No, is what you were expecting.
4. I was not even necessarily the square root of, but 4 times the size. I'm thinking in my head length. At the age of 6, I'm a 2-dimensional fucking. That's how I picture things. I watch cartoons, right? I read fucking comic books. It's all fucking 2D to me. So, right, so twice as big is twice as fucking long. I didn't know we were adding this fucking girth.
So you like one, you're not going to take that back and try and get your money back on. Excuse me, it's not 4 times the size.
Right.
And like 2, they're not bothered about return business.
Nah.
They're conning kids.
Aye.
That's what's happening. You're still falling for it this very day with a panda scheme. You're just chipping in on the panda, aren't you? Is what you did.
Which I'm fine with. If they called it chip in on the panda, I'm for conservation. Here's the problem with zoos, right? is it's really difficult to know. Do I think animals should be locked away in smaller habitats than necessary for the entertainment of human beings?
Sent to Scotland when they're meant to be in warm climates.
No, but I think I also, on the other hand, I'm like, it's a really good way, and it's the best way to teach kids and people about animals and get them to love animals. Like when you see these creatures up close, you're like, oh my God, we have to fucking protect these things. Like we have to do something. And it's for me, I'm like, I wouldn't love animals as much as I do and want to protect them and do the best.
If you hadn't had the exposure of the zoos.
If I wasn't able to fucking get that close to a red panda and be like, that's worth saving. You can show me a picture all you want, but zoos are difficult. Like there was the polar bear at Edinburgh Zoo.
Oh, that was like
sad.
Aye, because I mean, come to see that years and years ago, and it was just on this like repeat cycle of jumping into the water, climbing into the water, jumping into the water, to the point that I was like, oh shit, this is on like a 4 next loop programming code in its head, where it's not getting any enjoyment or anything out of this. It's just fucking running the program.
Yeah. And then they eventually, because it was going mental, and so many people complained about how mental it was going, that they eventually released it into like a closed off section at this, I think it was Blair Drummond Safari Park. And like there's the video of it, which is a very emotional video, which is like this creature. It was kept there for like fucking 10 years in this small confines. Finally being released. It's just like a grassy field, losing its shit, loving it. I think it died 3 days later, just out of happiness. Like I think it was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like finally I'm at peace.
Yeah.
Or it's fucking like hardwired brain just short circuited.
Yeah.
The thought of all the possibilities of action that it could take.
So like that's the side of zoos where I'm like, that's definitely awful. I don't want that to happen. And Edinburgh Zoo is really good now, at least in my head. It's like if you talk to any of the zookeepers there, they're all clued up. It's not just fucking Steve who got a job as a Janny and now he's cleaning out pygmy hippo shit.
Well, one thing I've noticed from like zoo visits in the past, especially that trip that we done to Minneapolis, is like they fucking love them animals.
Yeah.
Like they would like grieve the death like it was a relative if any of them animals come to harm.
Yeah, and that's what you want is those people there. Like I reckon back in the early days of the zoo, zookeepers were just fucking carnies. Those people was like,
that's the problem. That I remember that polar bear was like a carny bear. Like I didn't feel like I was at the zoo. I felt like I was at a circus.
Yeah, it was like
we've contained this animal for you to look at, and you're like, well, thanks, but rather you didn't.
Aye.
But no, like if they've got a quality of life, which is that's finding that balance in it.
Dad was telling me that when the Romans had their colosseums, they would ship in dozens of elephants and giraffes per day.
Correct.
To fight people in the Colosseum and die. Like they just went through.
They went through animals
a year.
Yeah, but they weren't fucking endangered back then.
That's why they are now, though.
Man, let the Romans do it. That was back in those days. There was too many fucking elephants in Africa.
That's
right?
what the fucking, what do you call it? Was it Henry VIII? That was at where Tom used to live, the Tower of London. I'm trying to say the Tower of London, Daniel. They had like the menagerie, didn't they? Where there was like a fucking polar bear on a chain by the Thames. Like they just had like all these mythical beings from around the world just there. Like there was no knowledge of. Like it was all just fucking ignorance.
But humans didn't have fucking rights then.
Yeah.
Like, of course you're being shady to fucking animals. I don't mind. Like, man, back then, I'm pulling this. There was at least 500,000 fucking elephants.
Just guessing numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
there's 500,000 elephants.
There was 500,000 fucking elephants, right? You've conquered a country, take a couple of animals, make it kill a bunch of fucking Celts, go nuts. Man, if there was an excess of elephants now, I'd be like, let them kill a bunch of French people. Just let them do it.
Did they use elephants in war? Do you reckon that was just Hollywood being Hollywood? You know, like 300 or whatever.
The Persians.
Aye. Do you reckon they used... They must have done. They've got... Aye, you're not going to get into war and not use the fucking giant mammals that are cutting around your land, are you?
I mean, if
You're going to utilise them.
definitely it's beasts of burden.
They were meant to have them in Game of Thrones now, but they ran out of the budget, didn't they?
Did they?
That
They
was-
spent all the money on dragons.
I think so, aye. Because they didn't Cersei send one of our lovers across the water to come back with elephants. And he
Did
didn't.
she? It's been so long since I've read the books, and I'll never reread them again.
Such a shame, isn't it? It had everything, that.
Aye.
I remember when we were in Australia in 2019. Go on, Matthew.
There's a Wikipedia article for them, so
Must be
they've been
true.
used. But the first paragraph includes the sentence, in modern times, war elephants on the battlefield were effectively made redundant by the invention of motor vehicles, particularly tanks.
Yeah.
So they were just displaced by tanks. Yeah. So are you telling me that you used to fucking put coconuts up their nose?
Well, yeah, they would put guns and stuff on them, apparently, in the Middle East.
Imagine the film Fury, but with an elephant.
Acoustic tanks.
Acoustic tank. Okay, we've got a podcast title at least. At least one thing's come of this.
Yeah, man, I believe we had to. Like, if we could, I say we, just as human beings, if we were able to fucking train horses, absolutely.
Well, it's just the pointing in the right direction of an animal, isn't it? Like with horses, we managed to train them to a point where we're like, we need to get there. We've got the weapon, blah, blah, blah. Right? Like, tigers would be great in battle if you could go, we're wearing red, don't get us. They're wearing blue, fuck them up. Like, then tigers would have been absolutely bred for war.
Yeah, rhinos.
But the fact that you're just like putting chaos into the battlefield, it's not going to help your side. Or
I reckon that must have been like the funniest 40 years of fucking history, right? You're out on the plains of Africa, right? You're living your life, right? And then the British, I assume, at one point, come over with their fucking horses, right? Start tearing down villages, start burning shit, start stealing all of your fucking resources, and you're just sitting there looking at me like, fucking hell, those guys, how the fuck did they train those fucking horses to do that shit? Here I am, fucking bow and arrow, we blow dart, fucking, this is a fucking shield made out of fucking hide. We've got to get that. And then you and your mates, you want revenge on these Brits. You see a pack of fucking rhinos. You're like, man, if
that's
that's
a big horse.
That's a fucking massive. You tell me, man. If we train fucking two of those,
that's a fat unicorn.
we are taking down a bunch. I reckon there's about 4 years of history of just a bunch of African people being like, lads, we're doing it. We're absolutely fucking.
How many times you got to fall off your giraffe before you get enraged? Horses must just be.
Because rhinos aggressive. I mean,
because you can't ride zebras, can you? Zebras won't have you. Zebras are just that bit more feral than a regular horse. You haven't think anyone riding a zebra in a battle, Daniel?
I feel like they might back in the day before they were endangered. Maybe that's why they were endangered. Maybe they were better than horses.
Nah.
Anyone in history ever ride fucking rhinos into battle? They must have. They got to. I refuse.
People must have rode camels into battle because they ride camels.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, like anything that like you'll have like that you can ride on as an attraction, you can ride on into battle, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right, so you're gonna take the Pepsi Max into battle, are you?
Dolphins holding on to both fins. Poseidon.
Gonna take a lame scooter to battle, are you? Anything you can write.
Just getting Shamu to cannon fucking catapult, flip you out the water. That would fuck me up. I don't care how fucking lame it would be in reality. If I'm on a fucking boat, right, I'm looking out for this bit of land I want to conquer. One man holding on to 2 dolphin fins coming towards me. I'm like, lads, we gotta go. there's no way he's doing that for fun.
There's no PA system, but you can hear crazy train playing somehow. Did I tell you? In fact, I didn't think I did because I was overwhelmed by the shark story. But on the same day that I got attacked by a shark, small asterisk, come face to face with a shark, double asterisk, was in the vicinity of a shark and shat my pants. On the very same day, earlier on, when I had my scuba goggles on, I could see dolphins just mucking around, just a pod of dolphins, like pirouetting out the water. Not like any boats around them, not like part of a tour, just a pod of dolphins living their life, right? Within swimmable range.
Yeah.
And I started...
Wait, swimmable for them or you?
Like, they could probably meet us halfway in quarter of the time.
Aye.
I don't know either. Right? So I started like heading out of the shallows towards this pod of dolphins that were having a great time. And then, pardon the pun, bottled it. Bottled it because I was like, if dolphins just decided that they didn't want, like, we just assume they're nice.
They are.
Aye, they are nice.
Aye.
But like, a dolphin just like shoving you around would be shite. Because I've been in the dolphin, I went to Cuba and I had the dolphin experience where like 2 of them push from behind your feet.
Aye.
So like, yeah, you're just like, whoa, then you get it fast and then they push out the water and you're still on the dolphin noses and all that. Like, they're trained dolphins that are probably, like, again, when you look into it, probably captivity dolphins that would rather be anywhere else in the world. But you know, if you're just swimming out the wild dolphins, I would hate them to just start fucking me shit up. Like fucking Mimsy on South Park, that gets fucked on the beach. It wasn't Mimsy, it was the other one. Mimsy's mate.
Aye.
Mimsy. I don't want, like, I absolutely fucking just give the dolphins the respect of, like, I'm not just going to swim into the middle of a bunch of wild dolphins.
No, I've heard too much about dolphins and the fact that they're just so curious about fucking people.
Imagine you just swim up to it and you're like, oh, dolphins, you're overwhelmed, your heart's racing, but like not in a scared kind of way, just like this is the best experience of your life. And then the dolphin just fucking took a chunk of it, just bit your calf off. Your calf's just fucking hanging there limp. Like, it's not even the sharpest teeth, just the power of their jaw.
You got to go back and tell your wife it was a shark.
Just
like, that's a really long bite for a shark.
Imagine it just like comes up and like has a little like look in and it's like bam, like, I can't. Just like spike punches you right in the tit. Like, hello, man, Brian. Straight, just
fucking jam.
Block its hole.
Aye.
Block its blowhole.
Got your nose, motherfucker.
Aye.
What are you going to do now? Swim straight down, drown me in 45 seconds.
Fish hook its blowhole.
Aye.
Aye. But I just had second thoughts about swimming up with wild dolphins.
Here's a dumb question.
Double one?
Dumb one.
Oh, okay.
Dumb one. Dolphins can see, right? I know they use echolocation to fucking, but like their eyes also.
They're not bat style.
Right.
Not bats. But they do use bat
So
sonar.
like the sonar bits to find things at longer distance than their eyes go.
Yeah, you can't see very far underwater, especially if you're deeper down.
Aye.
There's not much light,
Yeah.
so you can't see too far.
Oh. How deep do dolphins go? Depends how stoned they are, I guess.
They're a tiny bit the size of the universe sometimes.
They're like, there's a whole world up there. Shut up, Steve. What are you fucking talking about?
They were the aliens in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, weren't they? They just left halfway through and thanks for the fish.
Did they?
Aye.
Fucking hate that type of fantasy.
Do you know, I started reading a book, I think I spoke about it on the podcast before, but that was just like in the vein of that. And you're like, oh no, you can only do this once.
Aye.
Space Team. It's called Space Team.
I remember you telling me about how much you fucking hated it. Aye.
And I was like, I think it's like a Douglas Adams spawn. It was like watching one of them comedians that thought it was Stuart Lee.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, it's been done.
No, you've done it, yeah. There was too much of... I don't know where fucking Terry Pratchett got the gall to just...
You've got like, there's a Venn diagram in people who like Daniel Sloss and people who like Terry Pratchett, and it's almost a circle.
Yeah,
which you hate. Every time you slag off Terry Pratchett, like the majority of fans just like move a little bit further away from you.
I'm absolutely fine with it.
You know what I'm
Like
just...
if you like Terry Pratchett's work and value my work anywhere near to his, that makes me feel so bad about everything I've ever fucking created. I think it would take me less than 45 minutes to write a better book than anything Terry Pratchett's written.
Aye.
Yeah. And what I would do is I would go on the internet, I would type in a bunch of fucking...
Terry Pratchett's Adventures of Daniel.
Yeah. I would type in a bunch of random fucking words, right? I'm like, oh, this world is made of marshmallows, right? And everyone in it is turtles, right? Grand. And what's the twist? They're allergic to marshmallows, right? Fucking here we go. That's the whole fucking book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just quirky fucking nonsense that wouldn't be out of place in Doctor Who.
I've realised as well from playing to your audiences over the years, I'm like, I've enjoyed playing to audiences, but they're not necessarily my audience. I've realised this, going to Blythe and doing Punch Drunk for the first time in a year. I'm like, oh, that's my audience.
Scum.
Well, I feel like I'm doing a multi-class on D&D, right? Where like one of me characters is like appealing to like intellects with anxiety.
Yeah.
And the others is like...
And the other one would get...
confident savages.
The other one would get beaten up for using a word like multi-class.
Yes. And, I'm straddling these two worlds that I've enjoyed both of.
Aye.
Right? But I'm just like, oh, right, like I've got, like I said, this fucking like, confident savages while playing to the... To be fair, though, playing to the audience does unlock a lot more of the world.
Oh, no, but
because the people I would normally perform to in Poland, who are my people, wouldn't learn the English language.
Yeah, but I was very glad to be like dragged down to your audience as well. Like the years that if I hadn't have had you as a fucking tourist support and hadn't fucking done so much Punch Drunk stuff, I don't think I ever would have done as much cocaine as I have in my life. I never would have seshed in the way, because like, man, the friend group I grew up with, session was never cool, right? It wasn't something you fucking did.
Drugs are bad, okay.
Yeah. No, it wasn't drugs are bad, but I was like, man, I would be open to like mushrooms, I was fucking weed and stuff. Whereas your friends were like, hey, there's this new strain of plant food out. Right? And look, it's specifically for plants, but if you crush it up with this pool substance, right, it fucks you up. Is it good?
It's legal. No. It's technically legal if you use it to feed plants.
Not touching, can't get mad. Not touching, can't get mad. One hand on base, it's legal. Yeah, the whole class of just like, hey, there's a new chemical out. We're gonna snort it before they tell us we can't. That would never have been part of my life.
They're gonna have to ban it on a technicality.
Yeah, I like those. I'm grateful for my experience being.
And also, what I've come to appreciate as well. I'm doing a club set tonight, and I don't know what my club set is because that must be what you get all the time. Whenever you go to do like a club set at any club, because you've always been doing your long
form shite.
Man, every time I've opened for you, I've done something that's passable as a club set.
Aye.
So like the club set is never rusty. Now I'm just like, oh shit, which bits of this do I use? Which bits of other bits of shows do I put in? And it wasn't that long ago, really, since my last club set. So it'll not take a great deal of like CPU to figure out what to do tonight. But it is something I need to figure out.
I've got no idea how I'm going to do fucking 10 minutes. I'll be fine because like all my jokes will be short because they'll just be fucking ideas. Mm-hmm. But like 7 months off of anything is a long ass time.
It is,
Like, I don't care what your fucking joke. If there was a doctor that came in and been like, by the way, I've just actually traveled the world for 7 months. You're my first patient back. I'm like, get as a nurse, would you? Fucking go and get me someone that's just done 3 18-hour shifts in a row. Because, by the way, stuff's changed in 7 months, dude, motherfucker.
This is your male privilege kicking in now because that's every last that breaks up for maternity. Everybody that comes back to work after maternity has to fucking deal with what you're going to be dealing with just to get on stage for a bit of time off. The confidence fucking effect that it must have.
Oh, that's a good point. Fucking woke feminazi.
I mean, that's a women's just spin it into sexist. I just got tired as a fucking bitches if you can act like one. The minute you can't just walk, I think, fucking save this, throw the women under the bus.
No, you made a very good point, you fucking bender. It was really insightful.
If you were act like a woman, I wouldn't compare you to one. Shit, this is me trying to multi-class again. I don't know who I'm appealing to. Your fans are mine.
I just want to be a thoughtful chauvinist. Is that too much to ask? Yeah, I guess. Because I never thought about, but because Cara did go back to work for a little bit, but like, and I don't say this to demean her job in any way, but she was a personal assistant. So her going back, she didn't miss out on anything. Like she was, obviously she needed to be updated on what people were doing, but it was still like, she needs to book meetings, she needs to book hotels, she needs to like fucking, at that point, the Hyatt Hotel's still the fucking Hyatt Hotel, she's still got the same contacts, probably a bit rusty, but things I feel like wouldn't have changed too much for her.
The same as like when you first drive a car after like a 2-month tour.
Yeah.
You know, you get back and how does this work again?
Yeah. I don't know what. I mean, I'm excited to go back.
Because the difference is you'll be starting from scratch. You're not like dusting off the old.
Yeah, so it's good to go in with
jokes,
like fucking material that I don't fucking hate. Like that's going to be a different thing. Not well. I always hate my jokes at the end of a fucking tour anyway because you've done them so many times. But then like, not normally I've got with new jokes. I've got the confidence of, I'm really good at this. I've just finished a fucking tour. Like, even if the jokes are fucking shit, I'm good. I'll make things fucking work. Whereas now I'm like, not only do I not think my jokes are going to be good because my perspective is so shit and boring because I'm a stay-at-home dad of 2 and nothing I think matters.
Do the jingle bell fuck thing.
But like, I'm also going on just being like, am I good at this anymore? Like, maybe I fucking missed it.
I think you tend to, if you just go out and if you've got an idea and a premise and something that like has got a couple of punchlines attached to it, your stagecraft's already going to be like miles ahead of anybody else that's performing at the open mics that you're going to be going to.
But I don't know, man. The game's changing. Like, fucking, I'm interested to see what like normal real audiences are. I haven't played to I've played to my audience for the past fucking 2.5 years. Last time I played to a real audience that wasn't like just specifically my fucking audience was when I was working on material to do Can't.
Yeah.
Which would have been whatever year my son was born, 2022, January.
Yeah. That was the last time you performed to people. Even then, though, were you not performing to people who were coming because you were on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were announcing that you were going to be doing tryout stuff at the Newcastle stand?
Yeah, so I think what I'm going to specifically...
So it wasn't an open mic?
What I'm specifically doing in January and February and stuff is I'm like...
You're just going to crash gigs?
Well, it's my material has to be club good.
Yeah.
Right. It's got to be club good. Those are the real comics, and they always fight. If your material works in a club, then it works anywhere in the fucking world.
You got to get to London, top secret or something.
I'm going to be down in London in January for a couple of days.
When?
Don't know yet. It's not decided, but I will be down. So
I'm down on the 8th.
Might be down on the 8th. What are you doing?
I'm going to do another BT Sport thing. Sorry, TNT Sport.
Oh, so it's fucking Tuesday.
just dead named the football thing. I'm doing another football thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be down. I've got some work that I can do. Great. Yeah, I mean, London clubs don't intimidate me, but there is like a bit of...
You will be an unknown in a lot of them. Like, if I feel like that top secret audience, you would have had a handful of people that knew who you were.
Yeah, I would say fucking 10%.
When we went to see Elliot, I reckon there'd be a handful of people that were like, oh, fuck, shit, sweet. But I think the majority of people would need winning over.
Yeah, which I'm fine with, which is what I'm after. But then, like, I don't know, I just don't want to walk on stage. I think I'll fucking hate stand-up. If I walk on nervous for the first time and not nervous like I was at the play.
You'd hate it if you're nervous.
I'd fucking hate it. I'd absolutely fucking hate it.
You want to just be chilled about it.
Yeah, or buzzing or excited.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking I don't want to be a fucking quivering, fucking anxious mess.
Were you like
But-
that before the Palladium gig?
No, the nerves were different there. The nerves were.
I haven't done this in a while. I hope I remember it.
Yeah, and am I going to get away with it? But like knowing full well that I was going out to a massive fucking safety net, people that wanted me to do well anyway.
Did I tell you about I've done a number on us? I haven't even told him about this yet. But you know, I'm on my European tour, right? The tickets are on sale for Punch Drunk. I'm hosting it. I've got a lineup of Conor Burns, Dean Coughlin, and Deliso Chaponda, right? Fucking great lineup. And all I need to do is host it. And for the first time in a million Punch Drunks, I'm turning up and I've got an hour of material that they haven't seen. So it's the fucking safest gig. Like I don't even need to think about it because I can just do any of me bits of me show and they've never seen it. And Gav put out the promotional piece of going, and Kai's hosting it, and don't worry, if you're going to see a show in Newcastle, you won't be doing any of the material from that show and it'll be all new stuff. I was like, man, you can't do that without asking. Like now I'm on tour and I've got 2 weeks to write a whole new fucking set for hosting Punch Drunk because I do like to do material when I'm hosting. I like to like. It's nice to interact with people, but you still want to be handing them over to the comedian that's on next and they know what material looks like.
Aye.
You don't like to just fucking interact all the way through. But anyways, I just, I was like, oh fuck, I started writing premises and ideas. I wasn't in the headspace. You know, when you're on the current tour, and you know you're going to be writing a new show eventually anyway, but you start like fucking trying to push that through and you're writing all these like headings of premises for jokes and all that, and I was doing that and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite Matt Reed to come and co-host it with us and just have a fuck around. Just to get myself out of having to do any material at all. And it was an absolute treat because when you're co-hosting with someone, it's like fucking, they're busy interacting with someone and you're thinking about what to say next or figuring out if they've rang that dry and you can move on to something else so you're looking run for the next bit. And we both had each other's back like that when the other person was talking, you knew the minute you stopped talking, he's got something fucking adequate to say. So it was class. But like that was one of them panic things where I was like, man, I've just been disarmed. I've just been like, imagine I went to my brother, right, who's an electrician. Gav's going to rewire your house over the Christmas, but get this, he's not going to use any of his tools. Any of the tools that he knows how to use. Right. He can use any other tools apart from the ones that are in his van. And Gav's got to then, between now and the gig, work out how to use the other tools.
Right. Hi Ali, I know I'm taking Gav away to help me organise Punch Drunk tonight, but he's promised me when he comes home he's going to shag the arse of you, and he's been learning some new moves. Yeah. Don't ask from where.
It's best if you don't know. But the arse off you is a clue.
Aye.
So you're figuring out how to do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it, but if I feel a single nerve before any of the fucking gigs, I'm tapping out forever and just being a writer.
Aye.
Aye.
You want to be nervous?
No.
But that,
because I said this is a fucking horrible thing to say, but I find every comedian who gets nervous before a gig absolutely fucking pathetic. If you've been going anywhere longer than 2 or 3 years, if you've got a fucking club fucking 20, and if you've been going long enough, have some fucking self goddamn belief, put the fucking mask on, buck up and get it done.
I get that. I know exactly what you mean when somebody's like, oh, I hope they're gonna like it. It's like, shut up.
Shut the fuck up, man.
I hope I get booked back. Shut up. Right? Like, but the nerves of like, oh, I hope I remember it. That's fine because that's part of what you need in your body to be pumping through your veins. You're like, oh, can you just give me the chemical that slows down time in the moment, please? Yeah. And you're like, that chemical is going to make you nervous. And you're like, well, that's what I need. So then it gives you this fucking adrenaline dump and all of a sudden you're in the fucking matrix when you're on stage a little bit because you've got it. But if you take that chemical and use it to make your voice go quivery, it's your loss. But like, I always looked at like when I was nervous before a gig that I considered important, right? I wouldn't be nervous like I'd be nervous like fucking let us at him. Like I'd be nervous before a cup final in football where like me fucking football studs would be tapping off the floor in a way that they wouldn't normally. But fucking you try and stop me getting on that pitch. Like I'm like, give me the chemicals I need and I'll use them. But if you get them chemicals and you're like, you shrink around the chemicals that you get. I think you can't deny yourself the nerves. You just got to utilize them.
No.
Disagree?
No, I feel like it'd be being some fucking Red Bull cunt in a wingsuit flying through hoops placed over the Himalayas.
They get nervous.
No, they fucking don't.
That's why they do it.
No.
Why do you think they're thrill seeking?
If
they're trying to find that thrill.
If I did that for 3 fucking years, flying through all these hoops over the fucking Himalayas, right, and then one day I got on a lift, looked out the window, and went, I'd kill myself.
And now, but that's the reason they're thrill seeking is to find that. Like even before a gig where like I'm totally comfortable, like one of your tour shows when we've been going a while, everything's locked in and you've got enough form to know that it's going well unless they do something wrong.
Yeah.
You put your hand like that, put your fingers on your pulse and you can feel your heart rate higher than normal. You've got it. You're still getting the thrill. You've just found a way to psychologically ride it. That's like when you walk on stage on like say the Palladium and like you go, oh sweet, I just get to look around now. I get to walk on stage and take it all in because I've managed to tame that throbbing fucking pump of blood in my body to a point that I can like be present while I'm in it. It's not bad. It's not bad to have.
Yeah, no, I get. Yeah. As long as you're utilising the nerves and riding, I agree with that. It's like fucking, ride the horse that you're given, sort of thing, and use it, get it under control. If you're on the back of the horse, going.
Yeah. But every show should be a fresh horse that you're trying to break, and it should come with like the fucking this could go wrong if I don't get it right.
Yeah, maybe.
I was getting a bit nervous before some of my shows, and then the worst case scenario did happen once or twice. Where I did forget everything.
Yeah.
I did have to fucking pad my way out of it. I did have to break the fourth wall and tell them that I completely forgot what I'd written down and I'm going to hand back my notes and try and figure out if I can salvage this.
Looking forward to those gigs, like after doing the club set, because obviously you got to have at least 20 or 30 minutes of club workable stuff that would work in any club around the world. That's got to be the crux of the show.
The core of the show.
Stand-up. But like also in clubs, I can't go on stage and talk about like my personal fucking journey, right, in front of like a brand new audience. That's stuff for the longer show. I'm looking forward to the standing on stage with notes in front of my own people when the material's good enough and being like, all right, here's a massive insecurity and fear that I have about the world and about my own career, and how can I mix this in with
the stuff that's else. Just like every man funny.
Yeah. I'll tell you something I said the other day that like I didn't realise what a horrific saying it was because I'd heard it so much growing up. Then I just stopped thinking about it for like fucking 45 seconds. You ever, when you were growing up, say to a teacher, say to your parents, say to any fucking adult, hey, could you do this for me? And they went, what did your last slave die of?
Yeah.
Because it kind of did it to me. Just because if my wife asks me to do anything, my first response, 100% of the time, is to say no. I always do it. Right? If my wife needs assistance with anything, I will help her with that. I will always say no. Can you go fuck yourself? How fucking dare you piece of shit, you lazy fat fuck, blah, blah, blah. And I'll say all these things while doing it. And then the other day I went, what did your last slave die of? To which she said slavery, which was very funny.
It's Daniel.
My last slave. Oh, and the other one is, what did your last slave die of? Back chat? like a back chat. And then I was like, oh my, like, adults, grown adults. I mean, I know I'm one now, but I was using it in a joking way. Because that's not a phrase where you're like, I wonder what the etymology of that is. I know what the fucking etymology of that is. And that is awful. What did you... Hey.
No, they didn't die. They were emancipated. Emancipated. Freed.
Aye.
That was bad. They were your last slave die of. And I'm going to hoy my mother under the bus here, but it was a different time back then. If I didn't know when my mum was in the house and I'm shouting at her like, Ma, Linda, Linda, where are you? It was not uncommon for her to say, I've run away with a doggy. I'm quoting her verbatim here. And I'm not even saying like that just happened that once. That was a common catchphrase within households of the northeast of England, and I don't know how much further.
Did she say with glee in her voice? Was it like a glee?
I mean, she's sounding out of the moon to be away from Kevin with whoever this.
Don't say it.
Onyx.
This obsidian Adonis.
This ebony.
this oaky man.
She said it like it was like, oh, if only my dreams would come true kind of response.
Yeah, well, I guess that's... I mean, it's awful. Mm-hmm. But it's not... It's the intent of it's not
The intent of it wasn't bad.
The intent of it was bad. The ignorance in it is bad, but the intent of it's not.
The word she chose to use.
Yeah. That's the fact that it's a derogatory.
Ran away.
Because you could say I ran away with any of the ones we just said. Like
Ran away with a black man.
yeah, an obsidian
I
Adonis.
suppose her ways was like non-gender specific, so there was a little bit of progressiveness to it.
No, otherwise she would have said I've ran away with a black dyke, I'm sure.
Well, you've never heard that before. Your mum never shot that back doing the stairs.
She did not.
Where have you gone?
Nah, she never. Fucking hell. Because I do, like, there's definitely going to, there's definitely going to be stuff I say. Oh, I know what the stuff I'm going to say when I'm older. I'm just, look, I'm at the point, right? I'm not done growing. I'm not done learning. I strive to fucking improve, right? But.
No, you don't.
Well, retard and gay are never leaving my lexicon. I'm sorry, right? I'll not do them publicly. He said on a public podcast.
I think I did earlier.
Like, I'm just like, I know I've got too many gay friends that let me say gay. I've got too many gay friends that use gay as my favorite thing in the world is when one of my gay friends calls me gay for something I've done.
Yeah, I know.
Like if I order,
They're usually right now.
Yeah, they are. Man, the amount of times I've been with fucking Reese, and I'll be like, "Can I just get a red wine?" And he'll be like, "Faggot." Sorry, they'll be like, "Faggot." And I'm like, it makes me like.
I love that. This is the bit that you said sorry for. I'm sorry that you said.
I'm not misgendering my bestie. Yeah, like that's because I like them using that word is like a reclamation, right? Gay was always used as an insult for something that was fucking weaker or sort of lesser. But when I was young, and was so young that like I knew what gay people were, but you didn't really fucking think about it. I never took it on board as that, right? Like when you were calling something gay did just mean bad, right? And it wasn't until I was like 14 or 15 that somebody was like, but gay people aren't bad. And I'm like, why didn't they ever think gay people were bad? And they're like, well, you're using it in a bad way. And you're like, oh, fuck, okay, yeah. That word to you has been used against you by people who use the words in the same way that I do. And that's what got such a negative connotation to you, which is fair and way more valid than any point I'm about to make. But for me, it did just mean shit, right? In the same way that retarded always just meant dumb. Like, man, having a literally retarded sister, right? I've never, ever associate that word with like disability, right? It's always been, you say something dumb, you're a retard. Now I accept that for other people that's fucking different now, which is why I wouldn't say it on the fucking street. I wouldn't say it to a stranger I don't know, but I say all those things to the people in my life because they know where my intent lies. And I know when I get older. In fact, not only do I know, I hope Ayla and Kale will fucking call me out for it at points, right? They'll be like, Dad, you can't say that anymore. And I'll be like, so being gay and retarded? What are you talking about?
Which one said that? The other gay one or the retarded one? The Jew. You have three now.
I guess if they were to, like even then, like, I don't know, like what if either one of them turns out to be gay and they're like, but then
I've got a friend who's like used the word gay so flippantly in front of his child in the past, and his child turned out to be gay, and he's so accepting of them. He was never ever using it as a negative term, but motherfucker, the shoe fit and he wore it.
Does he still use it now? Has it changed for him? Like now that his son is gay, has he stopped using it?
Not entirely sure.
Because I think that would be the thing that like. Because for me,
I don't think any different to what like you would. Like he's no different to the way you would use it.
Yeah, like it's never in a hateful way. Because all the gays in my life are like, yeah, man, fucking, here's the pass, say it. That being said, if any of my black friends gave me the N-word pass, I'd be like, you can have that back, man. You can give it. You can give that.
Trust you. Why? Not saying.
Man, I haven't fucking. Like I needed this 15 years ago in the original COD lobby, right? It's too late for me now. That
would be like someone offering me a cigarette now. I'm like, I've been clean for a while. Don't get me wrong, I'd love it. Tell me what it's like using it.
Can you just say it around me and I'll enjoy it?
Can you just passive N-word in my company?
I can't, man. If I say it once, I know myself. I just won't stop. It'll be.
Oh yeah, back on 20 a day.
Before we leave, all of the racism and homophobia in this podcast was brought to you by me, just by me. But this podcast itself is sponsored by Thistley Cross. We are
Use the discount code before they revoke it.
Yeah. Thistley Sloss December will get you a 10% discount anywhere in the UK on any of their ciders on thistleycross.co.uk. As always, they do not pay us to do this. They send us some booze that we were going to buy ourselves.
Daniel drinks it
anyway.
all, never leaves us any.
I do. It's my favourite cider. That's why they're the sponsors of the podcast. Christmas is coming up. It's great booze to have in the house for that. It's a good gift. It's a good stocking filler for adults, obviously, and you should utilise it. Thistley Sloss December. thistleycrosscider.co.uk for a 10% discount on legitimately the best cider in the goddamn world.
And as this is a public episode, if you're not already, consider subscribing to our Patreon, where we will try and up the standard in the new year. But we have been consistent, though. Like this year, I don't think we've done anything more than like provide the extra episodes for the already subscribing people. Like because we've been busy as fuck. Well, I have been.
Yeah.
You've been.
Very lazy. Also, I have fucking Hubris is coming out, so buy that.
21st of December?
I don't fucking know.
So it might already be out now.
It's out on Saturday and this goes out Monday.
There you go. It's already out. Go to danielsloss.com. Watch that.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.